AskMisterWizard.com reviews the Google Chromecast Wi-Fi to HDMI bridge from February of 2014. Segment 1, Lab Overview, Box Contents, and Hardware Hookup. We will be doing our Google Chromecast work in this laboratory based on this HD TV, which is mounted on a swivel with a free HDMI connector visible right down there. And we'll be using this Windows-based Wi-Fi equipped laptop computer and this Google Nexus 7 tablet, both of which are on my home Wi-Fi. The details of my home Wi-Fi can be found documented fully at AskMisterWizard.com in our Wi-Fi section. And here is our Google Chromecast. I just opened the box and arranged everything for display. I haven't used anything at all yet. This is what you get. The box contains the Chromecast device itself, which looks like a big, fat, ugly USB thumb drive, but the connector on it, of course, is HDMI, bigger than USB. Everything on it would be a little bit bulkier than a USB thumb drive. And in fact, the device itself is a little bit bulkier than a typical HDMI connector. And so a second device, a second part of the contents is a slightly thinner HDMI connector or extender that you can plug into your TV in case the space around your HDMI port is crowded. And then you can, in turn, connect the Chromecast device a few inches away from that on this extender to give you some maneuvering room. You might even get a better Wi-Fi signal that way. You know how Wi-Fi is kind of a black art. Sometimes moving a Wi-Fi device a little bit away from the TV might give you a better signal. So that's this extender. In addition, there's a power adapter. I suppose it's different in different countries, adapted to the mains power you get from your wall. And then there's a USB power plug or cable. You connect one end of it into the appropriate socket on the power adapter, and the other end is a micro USB power plug that would go into the end of the Chromecast device to provide power. Note, this is not a data connection, just power. Alternatively, if you don't want to use the mains power adapter, you can connect the USB cable with its USB adapter into an available USB port on your TV or in some handy spot. However, that ties up a USB port. You might be better off just using the mains adapter. You also get a very teeny tiny skinny little booklet entitled Product Information. Mostly it contains legalese and warranty and warnings, but there is a small bit of instruction, how to hook it up, and suggesting that you visit for further information google.com/Chromecast. So basically, this little manual is really tiny, and it only serves to refer you to their publications on the internet for more documentation. The other little bits are some diagrams on the box itself showing how to plug it in. Some very primitive, simple diagrams entitled Getting Started. 3 steps. Plug it in, switch input, and set it up. Reference again, google.com/Chromecast/setup. The box itself contains some attractive pictures and some very brief, abbreviated descriptions of what this device does. Not what it actually is. There's no technical description of what it is. We'll reveal that here at AskMisterWizard.com. At this point, it became obvious that Google wanted me to go to an internet-connected computer, fire up a web browser, perhaps their own Chrome web browser, and go to google.com/Chromecast/setup. So, I did. I entered google.com/Chromecast into my address bar and was immediately taken to their Chromecast page, and then I followed a prominent link for setup. That got me a little warning. It says, "We recommend you set up your Chromecast from another device." I guess it didn't like the Windows XP machine I was using on, but there was a prominent button that said, "Try anyway," so I clicked that. This pop-up box entitled Chromecast Privacy and Terms appeared, and I took the time to explore the links on there, and I learned a lot about the Google Terms of Service and the Chrome Privacy Notice. In general, you need to understand that Google is a business and they do collect a lot of information about what you do. Many of the applications that Google grants to you for free require a lot of information about you and the sites you visit, the people and contacts you have on your social media, your location, and they do all of the things you might ever expect a for-profit business would do. I'm not implying that they're evil, they're just effective and efficient. If you have a suspicion that Google needs information of any kind in order to do the job that you're asking them to do, you ought to expect that they are in fact doing it. I think what they're doing is reasonable given that they are a for-profit business with a lot of power doing a lot of things for me. And so I'm going to click accept on this button. If you're not sure of exactly what they're doing or how it might affect you, I recommend that you also read those terms of service and the privacy notice and all the various links to which they follow. Because I'm generally satisfied and I'm appropriately cautioned to be careful, I'm going to press accept. Google's website then asked me if I see a screen like this saying, "Set me up" on my TV. I figured at that point I better turn on my TV and plug everything in and see if that's what I saw. So I did, and in fact, after cabling up my Google Chromecast device in the obvious way as shown in the diagrams going into my available HDMI port, I turned on the TV and configured the TV's input to take a signal from that HDMI port, and then I could see the screen, as you see here, exactly as it was predicted by the website. This was encouraging. I concluded I was done with the hardware setup. All the cables and power and Google Chromecast connections were working and talking to my TV. Within just a few minutes, I was able to get my TV to display the same thing that was being shown on the screen of my PC. But in order to do that, I had to configure some things through Wi-Fi. We'll cover that in subsequent clips. This video clip is part of a series of related clips on Google's Chromecast, which can convert Wi-Fi to HDMI. During the next few weeks, we will publish more details showing in great detail all of the configuration steps used with laptop, desktop, tablet, and smartphone devices. We'll cover Chromecast applications or apps, internet-based services like YouTube, and we'll detail clever and amazing things you can do with this little device, such as viewing your own local connection of videos and home movies. Although you may have found this clip on YouTube, our work goes way beyond these brief YouTube clips. We also publish detailed diagrams, photos with audio narrations and text articles, and forums related to Chromecast. Please visit the Home Theater section at AskMisterWizard.com to see the latest. Thank you. We appreciate your support.